How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another rendition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. We got a lot of fun topics to hop into today. The Cubs bounce back in the series opener against the Giants. Matthew Boyd continues to look incredible. What a signing by Jed Hoyer and company. We got some injury updates on Shota, a roster move, and potentially the Cubs could be calling up their top prospect. We'll discuss all of that and more on this episode. But before we get into all that, just a big shout out to everyone who's liked the video, who subscribed to the channel, and has commented down below. Let me know, who do you think the Cubs should go and get to help upgrade this roster? It might not even be a major move, but right, maybe the right bullpen arm or the perfect plug-and-play third baseman. Guys, let me hear your thoughts in the comments below, and let's hop into today's show. So, the Cubs bounced back yesterday 9-2 against the San Francisco Giants, an absolutely bludgeoning game by the Chicago Cubs. Now, the Giants did kind of kick themselves in the foot. They did have 4 errors, but again, this Cubs team, if you commit an error, we will make you pay. Pete Crow Armstrong, although he did not steal a base, he was an animal on the base paths, and he forced a lot of missed throws, especially by some really good defenders like Chapman and Adames. But either way, the Cubs absolutely dominate. Our main man, Boyd, goes 6 innings, 2 earned, only gave up that 2-run homer, 7 strikeouts, no walks, an absolutely sensational performance on his front. Ian Happ with a huge home run to give us the lead there. 3 RBIs from him. Suzuki drove in a pair as well. Dansby Swanson, who has a 7-game hitting streak, has been absolutely unconscious lately. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this team is absolutely rolling. And again, our ability to bounce back after losses has been absolutely incredible. I would say, I believe this is the 10th series of the season. I feel like we've won game 1 in 8 of them, which is absolutely an incredible start, right? I mean, the first game in Tokyo to the Dodgers, technically we did split that series. And then I believe we lost game 1 to the Padres on the road. But either way, when we lose a game, bet the Cubs to win the next game, because they've bounced back incredibly after losses in these series, ladies and gentlemen. And they don't lose the series, they just lose the last game of the series. So the Cubs looking absolutely incredible in the game yesterday. A great rebound, because on Sunday during the 6th inning, again, the Cubs did lose that game 4-0. But Shota did, I believe, pull his hamstring, and he is heading to the 15-day DL. The Cubs are going to recall Hollowell. If you do remember Hollowell, he did a solid job for the Cubs against the Dodgers in that brief stint up here in the majors. But again, he got sent back down right away for another reliever. But he's coming back up. He pitched a solid couple innings yesterday, and hopefully he can help be a sustaining factor here for the Cubs. Now, this does pose a question, right? The Cubs' 2 top pitchers are out. Colin Ray has replaced Justin Steele absolutely masterfully, if I do say so. But now, how do we replace Shota? Well, we did call up Chris Flexon, who's been absolutely flexing on him in the minors. He's been very well. He might get the spot start Friday in New York, where Shota's supposed to start. But there are, inklings and rumors. The Cubs might kind of just bullpen it out. Craig Counsell's been a master of this, especially with the Brewers. So I do imagine the Cubs are going to have a kind of a bullpen game on Friday. Maybe they'll have an opener pitch. But curious to see how the Cubs do handle it. I believe Jordan Wicks is still down in the minors. I know Javier Assad is still battling that oblique injury, so we can't call him up. But again, this is the strength of the Cubs, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that offense. It's the pitching depth within the minors. So I feel like the Cubs, they do want to dig deep into the minors before they necessarily just call up their top prospect. They kind of want to see how this team rebounds, right? They've done a great job so far dealing with the injuries, but can Chris Flexon give us a spot start? He gave the White Sox over 150 innings last year. The White Sox, arguably the worst team in MLB history. So I imagine Chris Flexon could come in and give us some solid innings, at least in the short term, just to get Shota off this IL. But man, do we need Shota to make this playoff push. There's no doubt about it. But if Colin Ray, Matthew Boyd, and Jameson Taillon keep pitching the way they are pitching, this team will survive these injury stints, and that might set us in a prime trade deadline situation to go get that ace starter that we have been desperately looking for. Now, this does beg another question, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have to go get an ace starter, or could our ace starter already be in the minor leagues? And that is in the name of Cade Horton, who over the first 6 starts has a 1.24 ERA, has a 10K per 9 innings average, and he only allows 3 hits per 9 innings, which is absolutely redonkulous. Now, the caveat with him is he's only pitched 199 career innings. I think the Cubs want him to hit a certain benchmark before they throw him out to the Major League Lions, as you like to say. So, do I think he could provide this team the spark? Yes. Do I think it's the time for that? No. It is May 6th, as you guys are seeing this video. No need to rush. No need to bring him up. It depends on how you want him to start, right? That's why I think that Friday game is going to be more of a bullpen game against the Mets. And again, the Mets, they face the most teams with the losing record. So how good are the Mets against good teams? That part we do need to find out. But the Cubs are going to potentially bring up Cade Horton. I don't think it's going to be this month. I don't think it's going to be next month. It might be in July sometime. But the Cubs want him to be set up for success. They do want him to provide this team the spark, but I don't think the team needs the spark right now. This team has dealt with injuries so well all season long that he's not necessarily needed to be brought up yet. Let him keep getting those reps in the minors. Let him keep building that confidence, striking out other hitters, and then when the time is right, maybe when the Cubs are on a skid, and maybe Shota comes back, if hopefully he doesn't have to, but maybe another pitcher goes on the IL, that's the time to call up Cade Horton and let him get his first first taste of big league experience for this Cubs roster. Because again, we're battling a couple different things with this Cubs team, right? We want development of our young players, right? We want to see PCA continue to grow. We want to see Michael Busch continue to grow, etc., etc. We want to figure out third base, so hopefully it's like Matt Shaw, and he can continue to develop at third base. But this team's also competing for the Central and a spot in the playoffs, and the way they've looked against some of the better teams in the National League, they might be competing for a World Series chance. I don't know. But that's the deal with the Cubs right now. They are battling a lot of different conflicting issues, but I do believe Cade Horton will provide this team the spark that we need when the time is right. That time is not now, though, ladies and gentlemen. But keep your eyes peeled to the Iowa Cubs. Keep watching Cade Horton start because he is absolutely electric, and he could be everything that this Cubs team needs. So, moving on to Game 2 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They're going for the series win. That's a common theme, right, in these videos, especially on the second game. I'm always like, hey, they're going for the series win. Well, they're going for the series win against the Giants tonight. Cubs have Colin Ray on the bump, who, like I said, has replaced Justin Steele absolutely masterfully, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what he has done for this team has been absolutely amazing. No doubt about it. Colin Ray is a 1.46 ERA. He's 2-0 with this club. And we're facing off against Justin Verlander, ladies and gentlemen, who historically might be one of the best pitchers of all time, but he's 42. So I'm not sure which Justin Verlander we're getting tonight, but either way, I do imagine this Cubs offense is going to be ready to pounce, ready to rock and roll, and ready to make some waves and win another series and continue to extend that NL Central lead. We ended the series 4 up on the Brewers. Can we continue that trend? That is the real question here. And so I do think the Cubs will get the win tonight. Verlander might not have his best stuff. I'm not sure with the weather impending, etc., but it's supposed to be 76 here in the area today. So I imagine tonight's going to be pretty beautiful and should be a good night for Cubs baseball, ladies and gentlemen. So 6:40 Central Time, that's when the Cubs are going to hop on. Again, dropping 9 runs yesterday. It's hard to maintain that offense, but the way this team sees the ball, the way this team is patient, moving Dansby down to the 8th spot has been absolutely sensational for this team. So again, I imagine the Cubs go out there and get a very nice win tonight. One of our better pitchers is going, believe it or not. Colin Ray has figured something out. The pitching staff has figured something out with him, and he's been absolutely sensational. So that's going to do it for Cubs Daily today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm excited to hear from everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.